Has your child just been diagnosed with Asperger Syndrome, and are you stressed out thinking what kind of a disease it is and how it occurs? If that's the case, guys, fret not. I'm here on the rescue. I'm Baron Cross from SoundHealthSolution.com, and I am here today to talk about one of the rarest forms of neuro-developmental disorder known as Asperger Syndrome. But before we get to the main video, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel as more interesting health videos are along the way. So what is Asperger Syndrome? Asperger Syndrome is a neurodevelopmental disorder that's generally reflected on an individual's behavior, social interactions, use of language, and communication. It was previously characterized as one of the autism spectrum disorders, or ASDs. Later, it was defined as a milder autism spectrum disorder, differing from other intelligence and normal language. Now, let's find out the peculiar differences between Asperger Syndrome and classic autism. Asperger Syndrome and autism are usually referred to as the same during the diagnosis, but in reality, that's not the case. Asperger Syndrome exists as a part of the autism spectrum, but the major difference lies in its early development of language and social skills. Children or adults with high-functioning autism, or HFA, and Asperger Syndrome both have average or above average intelligence, but generally they struggle with social interaction and communication issues. However, in comparison to the children with classic autism, children with Asperger Syndrome have IQs that fall in the normal or even superior. They show normal ability in matter of learning and intelligence, but show stereotyped and restricted patterns of behavior, activities, and interests. That's where most parents miss out on noticing the early signs and symptoms of the disorder. Now let's move on to some of the signs and symptoms of Asperger Syndrome. Asperger Syndrome is characterized by some peculiar patterns of symptoms rather than a single symptom. Some of the distinctive behaviors include repetitive or robotic speech, awkward or limited social interactions, nonverbal communication through gestures and facial expressions, self-discussion, inability to understand social or emotional issues or non-literal phrases, lack of eye contact, obsession with specific, often unusual topics, inappropriate movements or manner, and so on are often associated with this syndrome. Let us now talk about some of the treatment methods for Asperger Syndrome. Every case of Asperger Syndrome is different. Hence, the treatment depends upon the nature of the disorder. Some of the common treatment methods include cognitive behavioral therapy, where your child will learn a way of thinking that will prevent him from doing his repetitive behaviors, controlling his emotions, meltdowns, and outbursts. Speech-language therapy, where your child will improve his communication skills. For instance, he'll learn how to make a two-way conversation without being awkward and understand social cues like eye contact and hand gestures. Social skill training, where your child can learn social skills in a group. This teaches them how to interact with their friends. This training could correct awkward methods of speaking such as monotone and help children to do better and better understand and interpret the speech and communication signals. And lastly, we have applied behavioral analysis. Applied behavioral analysis is an effective way for improving children's cognitive and language skills. Over the past several decades, different treatment models using applied behavioral analysis have emerged, all of which use behavioral teaching. Well, most of you might not even know this, but Asperger Syndrome is also prevalent in adults. Most adults, however, go by without the diagnosis. Nevertheless, if you notice someone you know showing certain symptoms, it's better to seek immediate help from the doctors or therapists for them. Though there are different help centers and treatment options available for this disorder, most people are not even aware of it. So I request all of you watching this video to share it with your friends and families to spread the awareness. If you want to know more about Asperger syndrome, you can read our article on it by clicking on the link given in the description. Well, that's it for today, guys. For more informative videos, stay tuned to our channel. I will see you next time.